My name is David. I live in the United States. I live in a small city with tall buildings and busy streets. I have a good job. I wear clean shirts. I drive a nice car. I also have nice shoes. They are brown leather shoes. They shine in the light. They cost a lot of money. I am not saying this to show off. I am saying this because that day, my shoes mattered too much to me. That day, I learned something. I learned it in a hard way. It was a Sunday morning. The air felt warm. The sky was blue. I decided to go to a small church downtown. It is an old church with a quiet room for prayer. People come there to sit in silence. Some people pray, some people cry. Some people just breathe and try to feel calm. This church has a sign near the door. The sign says, "Please remove your shoes in the prayer room." The floor is old wood. The church wants to keep it clean and safe. Most people follow the rule. I did too. But I also felt nervous. I had heard stories. I had heard that people steal things near this place. Not everyone, of course, but sometimes it happens. A busy city has good people and also people who do bad things. I stood near the door and looked down at my shoes. I did not want to take them off. They were new. They were expensive. I thought, what if someone takes them? My stomach felt tight. I looked around. There was a shoe rack. Many shoes were there. Sneakers, boots, sandals, old shoes, new shoes. I thought, if someone steals shoes, they will steal mine. But I could not walk into the prayer room with shoes on. I did not want to break the rule. So I stood there, stuck in my own head. I felt silly, but I also felt scared. Outside the church door, a man sat on the steps. He looked tired. He had a thin jacket. His jeans were old. His face had lines on it. He held a paper cup in his hand. I knew what it meant. He was asking for help. He was asking for money. I almost walked past him. I almost looked away. But then I stopped. I do not know why. Maybe I felt guilty. Maybe I wanted to feel like a good person. Maybe I just wanted my shoes to be safe. I looked at the man and said, "Hi." He looked up at me. His eyes were dull and heavy, like he had not slept well. He said, "Hi, sir." I pointed to my shoes and said, "Can you watch my shoes for me? Just for a little while. I want to go inside to pray." The man blinked. He looked surprised. Then he nodded. "Yes," he said, "I can do that." I took off my shoes. I held them in my hands. For a second, I did not want to give them to him. My fingers held tight, but I did it anyway. I placed the shoes near him. I said, "Thank you." He said, "You're welcome." I walked inside in my socks. The prayer room was quiet. The light was soft. The air smelled like old wood and clean soap. A few people sat on benches with their heads down. No one talked. I sat in the back. I put my hands together. I closed my eyes. At first, my mind was loud. I kept thinking about my shoes. I kept thinking about the man outside. I kept thinking, please do not let him take them. Then another thought came. It came slowly, like a wave. I started thinking about the man himself. I thought about his thin jacket. I thought about his cup. I thought about how he was sitting outside while I walked in. I thought about how I had warm food at home. I thought about how I had a bed. I thought about how I had choices. My chest felt heavy. I opened my eyes and stared at the floor. I whispered in my mind, God, why is life like this? I did not mean it in an angry way. I meant it in a sad way. I thought, why do I have so much and he has so little? I looked at my socks. They were clean. I thought about my closet at home. I have many clothes. I have more than I need. I felt shame, real shame, not the loud kind, the quiet kind that burns inside. In my mind, I said, God, why are people not equal? Why is life so unfair? Then I remembered something my grandmother used to say. She used to say, what you do matters. It comes back to you. Sometimes she said, what goes around comes around. People also call it karma. I did not fully understand it, not then, but I made a decision. I said to myself, when I leave, I will help that man. I did not want to give him only a few coins. I wanted to do something real. So I picked a number. I thought, I will give him $50. It felt like a strong plan. It felt like a clean plan. It felt like I could walk away and say, I did a good thing. I sat there for a few more minutes. I tried to pray. I tried to calm my mind. I tried to feel thankful. I tried to feel close to God. After some time, I stood up. I walked back to the door. I was ready to put on my shoes. I was ready to give the man $50. I was ready to feel light again. But when I stepped outside, the steps were empty. The man was gone. My shoes were gone too. For 1 second, my brain did not accept it. I looked left. I looked right. I looked at the sidewalk. Nothing. My heart dropped fast. My face got hot. My hands started to shake. I said out loud, no, 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 no. I looked around again. I thought, maybe he went to the corner. Maybe he went to the bathroom. Maybe he is coming back. I waited. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. People walked past me. Cars passed. A bus stopped and moved again. The city kept going like nothing happened. The man did not come back. That is when I knew. He took them. I felt anger, sharp anger. I wanted to run after him, but I did not know where he went. I wanted to yell, but who would I yell at? I also felt something else under the anger. I felt foolish. I felt played. I felt like a child who trusted the wrong person. And I felt sad, not only for me, for him too, because if he stole my shoes, then his life was not in a good place. If he stole from me, then he was still stuck, still hungry, still scared, still living day to day. I stood there in my socks on the church steps. I looked down at my feet. The sidewalk felt rough. I could feel small stones through the fabric. I took a slow breath. I told myself, go home. So I started walking. Each step felt wrong. People looked at me. Some looked away fast. Some stared. I wanted to hide. I wanted to disappear. I walked 2 blocks, then 3. The socks got dirty. The bottom of my feet started to hurt. I felt small and exposed. Then I saw a man on the sidewalk with a table. On the table were used shoes and used belts. It was like a small street shop. In the city, you see things like this sometimes. People sell used stuff to make money. I walked closer because I needed shoes, even cheap shoes, anything. As I got close, I froze. On the table, I saw my shoes, my brown leather shoes. The same small scratch on the left toe, the same dark lace, the same shape. For a moment, I could not move. My mouth went dry. My stomach turned. I pointed and said, "Those shoes, where did you get them?" The seller looked at me. He looked tired too, but in a different way. He said, "I got them from a guy." I said, "A guy? When?" He said, "Just a little while ago." I felt heat rise in me again. I said, "Those are my shoes." He laughed once, like it was a joke. "Man, I paid for them." I leaned closer. My voice got low. "How much?" He looked at me like he did not want to answer. Then he said, $50. 50. The same number I had in my mind. The same money I planned to give. My anger stopped. Not fully, but it changed. It turned into something cold and strange. I stared at my shoes. I did not touch them. My hands felt heavy. The seller said, "You want them or not?" I did not know what to do. I could call the police. I could argue. I could fight for them. But I also knew the truth. I did not have proof. I did not have a receipt with me. I did not even have my phone in my hand. And deep inside, something else was happening. I was hearing my grandmother's voice in my head. What you do matters. It comes back to you. I whispered, 50. The seller said, "Yeah, 50. I stepped back. I looked up at the sky for 1 second. I felt a sting in my eyes. I wanted to cry, but I held it in. I did not buy the shoes. I turned around and kept walking toward home, still in socks, still hurting. But now my mind was louder than my feet. I kept thinking about that man on the church steps. He watched my shoes. He said yes. He looked me in the eye. Then he took them and left. And I kept thinking about the money. In my heart, I knew something. He was going to get $50 from me that day, one way or another. I had already decided it. The money was ready in my mind. He could have waited. He could have said, "Sir, I need help. Can you give me money?" If he had asked me, I think I would have given it. I was ready. But he chose a different way. He chose stealing, and that choice mattered. When I got home, I washed my feet. I took off my dirty socks. I sat on my couch and stared at the wall. I felt many things at the same time. I felt stupid. I felt angry. I felt sad. I also felt awake. Like I saw something I did not want to see before. That night, I prayed again. Not in a church, in my living room. I said, "God, I think I understand a little." I did not say, "Make me rich." I already had enough. I said, "Help me be kind, but also wise." I also said something I did not expect to say. I said, "Please help that man too." Because I did not want him to stay a thief. I did not want him to live like that. I did not want him to keep hurting people and also hurting himself. In the days after, I bought a cheaper pair of shoes. I went back to work. Life went on, but my heart was different. Now, when I see someone asking for help, I do not only think, will they trick me? I also think, What pain are they carrying? But I also remember this: my actions matter. Their actions matter too. Two people can want the same thing. Two people can need the same thing. But the path they choose can be clean or it can be dirty. That day, I planned to give $50. The man got $50 anyway, but he got it with a bad act. And bad acts do not stay small forever. They grow. They follow you. I learned a lesson in a strange way. Not everyone is equal. Not everyone starts in the same place. Life is not fair. But choices are still real. Kindness is still real. And what we do today can shape who we become tomorrow.